Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're jumping into a really powerful and, honestly, dramatic chapter right from the heart of the Bible, Psalm 2.
Just so you know, our deep dive today is based on material from the You Need Faith in Jesus team.
All right, let's dive right in. The psalm kicks off with this question that's just dripping with astonishment. It's like the writer is looking out at the whole world, at all the nations, and just asking, why? Why are they in such an uproar, plotting things that are completely pointless? This question really sets the stage for this huge cosmic drama we're about to see unfold.
So, Act 1. The scene is set right here on Earth, and what we see is pretty shocking. There's this massive conspiracy brewing, and it's happening among the most powerful people in the world.
And get this, the text makes it super clear this isn't just some random chaos or a few protests. Nope. This is an organized plot. We're talking about the kings, the rulers, all coming together with one single purpose: to stand against the Lord, God the Father, and His anointed, which is the Messiah, Jesus Christ.
So, you gotta ask, what's driving all this? Why are they so angry? Well, the psalm tells us exactly what they're saying. They feel like God's laws are chains, like bands and cords holding them back. Their whole goal is to just shatter those chains and be completely free from any divine authority. They want to be their own gods, essentially. And that's the key thing to understand about these bands and cords. It's not just about not liking a few rules. This is a deep, fundamental rejection of God's authority itself. They see His loving guidance as a prison. It's really the heart of all rebellion, isn't it? Choosing self-rule over God's rule.
Okay, so things are heating up on Earth. But now, the camera, so to speak, dramatically pans up. We're leaving all that frantic plotting behind and heading straight to the throne room of heaven. The contrast is going to be stark. And this slide just nails that contrast perfectly, right? Down on Earth, it's all frantic conspiracy and what they think is this super serious rebellion. But from heaven's perspective, it's absolute calm. What they see as a declaration of war, God sees as, well, almost laughable.
Now, when the psalm says God laughs, we have to be really careful. The source material is clear. This isn't mean-spirited, cruel laughter. It's the laughter of complete and total confidence. Imagine a giant watching an ant shake its tiny fist. God is not threatened, not even a little bit. He's holding them in derision, which means He sees their plot as utterly ridiculous.
But that laughter, it doesn't last. It shifts to a very serious warning. God is going to speak to them in His wrath. And again, this isn't some out-of-control anger. It's the holy, just, and righteous opposition of a perfect God against sin and rebellion. His words are going to absolutely terrify and confound them, showing that there are real, serious consequences for fighting against your Creator.
So with all this rebellion swirling on Earth, you might wonder what God's big countermove is. Well, it's not a complicated strategy. It's a simple, powerful, game-changing declaration.
And it all hinges on one little word: yet. Seriously, this is the pivot point of the entire psalm. It basically means, despite everything you're doing, despite all your plots and your rage, I have already set my king on my holy hill. It's not something he's going to do, it's a done deal. Their rebellion is completely irrelevant to his plan.
And now, for the first time in the psalm, the king himself speaks. The anointed one steps forward, and he's about to reveal the unshakable, eternal decree that was made between him and God the Father. And wow, what a decree it is! It's got three parts. First, the declaration of sonship, "Thou art my son." This confirms his unique, divine relationship with the Father. Second, the declaration of inheritance, "Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance." The whole world is his inheritance. And third, the declaration of authority. He will possess the uttermost parts of the earth. His rule is absolute and universal.
So what does that authority look like in practice? Well, for anyone who insists on rebellion, it's not pretty. He will rule them with a rod of iron. Think of that, a scepter that is completely unbreakable. It symbolizes His irresistible power. He'll dash them to pieces like a clay pot. It's a vivid picture of just how fragile human power is compared to His.
Okay, that's a pretty terrifying image. But just when you think it's all about judgment, the psalm makes one final dramatic turn. It shifts from this terrifying warning to an offer, a gracious path of escape for everyone. And yes, that even includes the rebellious rulers themselves.
This is where this huge, cosmic drama gets really personal. It stops being just about kings and nations and brings it right down to you and me. It presents a final, urgent choice that every single person has to make.
And the psalm even gives us the practical steps. It's a call to action. Step 1, be wise. In other words, stop fighting reality and just acknowledge who's in charge. Step 2, serve the Lord with fear. And that's not being scared, but having a deep, profound respect and awe. And then step 3, the most intimate one, kiss the Son.
So what does it mean to kiss the Son? Well, back then, this was a common act of showing loyalty and submission to a king. You were literally pledging your allegiance. So the call here is to do the same thing spiritually, to abandon your own little rebellion, surrender to God's chosen king, Jesus, and place all your trust in him.
And so it all comes down to this: 2 paths, 2 destinies. On one hand, you can continue in rebellion and perish from the way when his wrath is kindled. On the other hand, you can find blessing, this deep, settled peace and security by putting your trust in him. The psalmist leaves no room for a middle ground.
And isn't it amazing that this whole intense drama doesn't end on a note of terror? It ends right here with this beautiful, open invitation. Blessed are all they that put their trust in him. It's a promise of safety, of favor, of true life for anyone and everyone who stops fighting and simply trusts God's Son.